Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I'm getting started a little bit earlier today. I'm going to be doing some more afternoon live streams going forward here, just because of a change of schedule, change of things here. So, glad to see that you guys actually did show up to the live stream. I see there's like 6 of you guys here on YouTube. So good to see that. We'll plan on doing some more afternoon live streams. I'll try to do another one tomorrow as well. Maybe Thursday I'll do a evening live stream, just for the guys who are able to come out for the evening live streams. But I'm gonna make it a bunch of changes here in the future here, guys, because I am going to Costa Rica in April, and I'm still gonna try to do the live streams. I'm actually gonna try to do 2 live streams. I'm gonna try to do like a morning, late morning, afternoon live stream, and then I'll be doing a evening live stream for my evening guys, so you guys will get a chance to see me twice, hopefully every day. And I'll be doing that for like the next 3 months. I'll be live streaming in Costa Rica from like April to June, the end of June. And yeah, I'll be down there. I'll also be trying to post up some travel content and some travel videos, as well as the normal stuff that we do by looking at the charts here. But anyways, let me get into the charts. I know you guys came here to look at Bitcoin and see what it's doing. Bitcoin's currently trading at 74K right now. And, we saw Bitcoin get up to like 76K last night. I did say in last night's live stream that I could see the momentum showing that Bitcoin wanted to go up to higher prices. And sure enough, it didn't make me a liar. It actually did go to higher prices, because when we were looking at Bitcoin last night on my live stream, it was at like $74,000, which is that right now. It was at like, I think 74,800 maybe. Okay. And then we kept creeping up to like 75 and then 76K. I'm wondering if any of you guys took a short last night. You guys got into a short. I actually was on a video conference call with one of the associates that worked at WEEX cryptocurrency exchange, which is one of the cryptocurrency exchanges that I'm affiliated with. And we were talking about what we were going to do for some, deals and how to get, content out there, how to grow my channel and stuff like that. And in the meantime, Bitcoin was climbing up to 76K, so I kind of missed out on taking that short last night. When I finally did look at it, I was like, well. And then also when I looked at it, I was like, maybe it does go to 77K. So I wasn't interested in taking the short. I mean, I was, but by the time I looked at it, it dropped from like 76K down to like $75,000. I was like, damn, I missed the opportunity right there. So, unless you're like watching the charts all the time, that can happen to you. Even when I was at the computer, but I was just doing a Zoom meeting, and I missed out on that. So I actually am interested in longing Bitcoin right now at 73,900, where we're at right now. I took out a long earlier in the live stream. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show it to you guys real quick here. Let me see if I can show you here. I actually took the long on WEEX. Let me see if I can find it here. Load up the trading platform for WEEX, but I just took out a long, and I think I put the stop loss at 73,400, which is where we got down to earlier this morning here on Bitcoin. So if we drop down lower than that, then I want to get out. But yeah, you can see I'm currently long in Bitcoin with 40x leverage here. Let's see, about $52 margin, so not like a really big bet. Because if we do come down a little bit lower, then I did put a price alert here if we do come down a little lower. But if we do come down to like a lower price to like 73,600, I might want to add a little bit more to that Bitcoin long there. Let's get into the 1-hour chart here for Bitcoin. Okay, you can see that here on the 1-hour candles here. This is where I got my price alert, 73,700. I want to be, trying to take another shot at adding to my Bitcoin long if I can. Looking at the 1-hour chart here, we did, top out here at 76K. I'm giving you like kind of like what happened yesterday. But after that, I mean, we came down sharply and firmly here. Caught a little bit of support off the 21 EMA on the 1-hour frame, but then we lost it further here at 5 a.m. Eastern time, and we trended all the way down to like, we got as low as like 73,400 at 9 a.m. Eastern time here. then I guess some people decided to take a bet on Bitcoin here, just like me. And we got this green candle here, but now we're getting another red, kind of like bearish candle here. If we come back down to 73,700, I'd be interested in adding to the long here. Like I said, I think I got in at 73,900. Yeah, 73,942 was where I got in at on my long here. If we do come down and I get stopped out, I put my stop loss at 73,400, and with that, I'll lose about about 15 bucks. No big deal. ROI would be down 29% if that was the case here. So yeah, that's what we got here for my position on Bitcoin. I am trying to long Bitcoin because I feel like it's been buy the dip for Bitcoin, and we just don't know when we're actually going to get that actual dip down to lower prices in an aggressive fashion here. I think we can still try to ride the trend here, where the trend is that Bitcoin's been going up and to the right. It's been doing that since like March 8th here. We'll be going up and to the right, up and to the right, and every time we dip down, it's a buy the dip opportunity. So this is this morning is just probably going to be another buy the dip opportunity. How much higher could Bitcoin go? Let me go into the daily chart now and get a bigger picture view here as like where Bitcoin could get pushed down. Okay, I already drew this rectangular box here as a possible sell zone. We are kind of creeping into the sell zone, but Bitcoin on the daily time frame, you can see that there is some sideways trading action here in the beginning of February at like 78K. I think 78K is where we could try to push our longs. If we're day trading Bitcoin right now, we could probably push it up to like 78K. And I think the people that bought at 78K back here in February, they might want to get out of Bitcoin and break even because they've been down the last couple of months here. If they can't handle the pain of being down anymore, they just want to get out of Bitcoin, they'll probably do it when we get up to like 77, 78K here. So I think that's just an area that we got to pay attention to. Also, what I saw on a 3-day chart here, I saw the 21 exponential moving average, this white line, is now at 74K. This 21 EMA could push us back down. Okay, it had a chance to do it on Saturday, but it didn't. Like around the last 3 days, it didn't really push us down, and we kind of got above it yesterday and today. So we do have a candle body that is above this 21 EMA. If we continue creeping up into the right, then I guess we're going to just totally disregard this 21 EMA, and this 21 EMA is not going to act as resistance. But this, if we just immediately start coming down hard and fast, then that this 21 EMA is being respected as resistance right now on a 3-day chart. We're using the 3-day chart to look at this, and the 21 EMA could be a possible resistance for Bitcoin. And has it acted as resistance before? Well, it tried to act as resistance back here in January, but January we had that strong aggressive relief rally that pushed us up to like 97K. And then we fell back below that 21 EMA. Okay, so that 21 EMA on the 3-day chart, it could be an issue here. It could be an issue. I'm not saying that it will be an issue, but it could be an issue. All right, and yeah, 21 EMA on the 3-day chart showing 74K should be a resistance area, and we're already at it right now. So we'll see. If we push past it, then I guess it's not that big of a deal. But that's something to be on the lookout for too. But going back to the daily time frame here, looking at the bigger picture view, if we push past 74K, which we tried to do last night, and if we push past like 78K, right, which we haven't done so yet, we could get some resistance off this daily 50-day moving average. This is the 50 simple moving average. This green line is sitting at $80,400. That could provide resistance for Bitcoin, and maybe 80K is the line in the sand where we can't go any further past that. Okay, so there's some resistance to look for here. I'm giving you guys the resistance levels. My YouTube guys, I tell the video like where are the resistance levels now, and I already showed it to you here. 74K, which we already kind of pushed past. 78K is another area, and then 80K are your near-term resistance levels for Bitcoin, where we should probably think about taking profits on our Bitcoin and crypto if we haven't done so already, and then maybe entertain the idea of shorting. Okay, and if you short Bitcoin, don't do over trading where, you know, you get stopped out and you go back in again, you get stopped out and you'll go back in again. Like if you get stopped out, maybe Bitcoin does want to push higher, and maybe you need to wait for the next level up. Like in this case, maybe we got to wait until 78K to enter a short, okay? Or if you get, you know, stopped out there, and then maybe you want to try to entertain the idea of shorting Bitcoin at 80,400, which is where the 50-day moving average is at, and just wait until it actually hits that level, and then maybe put your stop loss at 82K if you're shorting 80K, and you'll see if you can able to stay in that short or not. Okay, but that's how I would try to entertain the idea of shorting Bitcoin if that's what you want to do. Let me go back in the chat, see what you guys have to say about what I just said right there for Bitcoin. We see that Kudor says, what is a pivot point? Pivot point for what exactly? And I see we got Crypto Coin Mindset is in the YouTube chat here. Good to see you, Crypto Coin Mindset. He says, hey everyone, just stopping by to smash the like button, and then he gives a strong arm for Costa Rica. And Crypto Coin Mindset says, my music is overpowering my voice. Okay, just a little bit. Alright, I guess I could try to turn it down just a little bit more for the heads up there. Let me see if I can turn the music down just a little bit more for Crypto Coin Mindset. Thank you for mentioning that. I wasn't too sure, but let me see. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Although now I can barely hear the music myself, but alright, let's see if that makes the stream a little bit better for you guys. So I can still got the music playing. And Crypto Coin Mindset says that sounds a lot better on the music. Alright, thank you for the feedback there, CCM. And guys, if you guys want to check out another crypto influencer, we do have Crypto Coin Mindset is in the chat here. Let me see if I can give him a quick shout out here. CCM. Well, I should probably type in Crypto Coin Mindset, right? But let me see what comes up here. Crypto Coin Mindset. Where is that? No, that's not Crypto Coin Mindset. Try that again. CCM, what is this? I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to your channel, but it's just not coming up right now. Maybe I need to put the mindset together. Wow, that's I know you are here, and maybe I need to just put all the words together here. Crypto Coin Mindset. See what comes up. There we go. I had a little trouble there finding you. I know it. See, I'm subscribed to your channel. I know I'm subscribed to his channel, but he has a couple of thousand subscribers here. You guys might want to give him a look here. He goes live every now and then. Let's see. Looks like he does his premieres Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So he's early, you know, not early, but a late morning guy. And it looks like he goes live 7 p.m. And live at like 6 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday here. And then Fridays as well. Usually I catch his Friday evening live streams. That's like usually a good time for me to catch his live streams there. But yeah, that's Crypto Coin Mindset. He usually does like a podcast with a few other guys, so it's not just him. So you can you know, get an opinion from more than just one person here about what's going on in cryptocurrency world. All right, back to the chats here, and also let me go back to my chat here with TikTok. See what you guys are saying here. Somebody said something about $72,700. I'm not sure what that's all about. Is that where you're trying to long Bitcoin? Or are you trying to like take your short down to 72,700? Cuador says, now is the time to long Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm willing to take a chance on longing Bitcoin at these prices right now. Okay. And let's see. Sui95 Tony says, bull trap. I mean, people have been saying bull trap all throughout the last 8 days here. Bull trap, bull trap, bull trap, bull trap. And it's like, really? Is it a bull trap or is it a relief rally? Okay. Because it's looking more like a relief rally than a bull trap, in my opinion here. Okay. Alright, a bull trap would have been something like this. This is a bull trap. This was a bull trap where people are like, oh, we're breaking out of this pennant here. And we're going to the upside only for us to come back down. Right? And you could have said this was a bull trap. Right? Okay. This was a bull trap around March 5th. But not really, because all we did was we came back, we retested the pennant here to the T. Look at that. We came right down and tested it around that 67K area, try to see if that held that support, and it did, right? And then we started launching up to higher prices here. Okay. Now I'm not sure if, you know, this could end up being a bull trap. Maybe that'd be kind of that would suck if it did, right? But it could be a possible bull trap if that's what you're looking for. But you know, this could also be a rally like we saw back here in January, where we you know, we had a few green days here that pushed us up, and then yeah, of course, there was a little bit of correction. And then was anybody screaming bull trap on January 6th here? Maybe some people were, but then we came up and we climbed right back up to higher prices, and we didn't actually get rejected until we hit this 50-day moving average, this 50-day simple moving average sitting at 97,300. We came up a little bit above it at 97,900 on January 14th. We hit it again on January 15th, and it acted as resistance, and that was it. That was game over for Bitcoin when we actually hit that 50-day moving average. That 50-day moving average acted as resistance. I think the same thing could happen here in March or April, where we climb up and we hit that 50-day moving average one more time at $80,000, and then I think that's going to be the time to get a very good, sweet short. If you're trying to short Bitcoin, I think $80,000 might be the number to hit here. Okay. However, Bitcoin could continue climbing past 80K, and then what are you going to say? Are you going to call it a bull trap again? Because if it climbs past 80K, then you're still in a rally. You're still in a relief rally, and we do have another level here to look at. $84,500 Bitcoin has acted as support back here in November and December of last year. Okay, I think that could be another area for us to try to enter short if you're interested in shorting Bitcoin. But right now, I'm interested in longing Bitcoin and hopefully carrying the long up to 84K if I can, right? Then there's also another level to look for, $87,500, which acted as support as well back in November and December and also January. Okay, and that is another level where I think we should definitely think about shorting Bitcoin, because now we would have to be on like a lower high watch where, you know, we know Bitcoin's in a bear market, and you know, we could you know, get knocked down by probably this 100-day moving average, this blue line right here. That's sitting at $86,600. So like that's right near that 87K area. So I think, you know, if you guys do not have, you know, the support resistance areas plotted on the chart like I do here for you guys, I did that already for you guys. You just, you know, stick into the moving averages. You could just stick to the moving averages and be like, all right, I'm going to try to short Bitcoin at the 50-day moving average, this green line right here. If that doesn't work, okay, then I'm going to try to short Bitcoin at the 100-day moving average and see if it will actually hit and stay. Okay, that's just an idea. Okay, and you put your stop loss right above the moving average. Okay, maybe a couple of $1,000s away from where the current price action is at. And if you don't get stopped out, then you're going to be thanking yourself for trying to short Bitcoin, you know, at that 100-day moving average if you're able to do so. Right now, I think we're going to see how we handle ourselves near the 50-day moving average, because we haven't gotten above the 50-day moving average all throughout the last 6 months here, since Bitcoin's been in this bear market here. Okay, we've been struggling to get above that green line. Okay, if we do get above that green line, then maybe we're doing something different here, and maybe the 100-day moving average will act as resistance. Okay, but for now, I think the area to try to short Bitcoin should be that 50-day moving average. That's $80,000. Okay, that's when I would try to short Bitcoin, because you know what's going to happen when people see us at $80,000. They'll be like, oh my god, we are so back on Bitcoin, guys. Cryptocurrencies is back. I told you this is the end of the bear market, and and then that's when, you know, short the enthusiasm. When people get, you know, overly bullish, that's when you try to take a stab at you know, counter trading them and doing a short at 80K. So that's why I would be looking for a short, to be honest with you guys, at this point. Sue95 says 75K is too strong. Too strong, what do you mean by that? And then let me see, we got is that a request for sorry on the 15-minute? I'm not sure what you mean by 15-minute, but if that's what you want me to look at, I can look at the sorry if that's a request. My TikTok guys, let me know if that's a request there. Alex says how to cash out. It should be as easy as clicking the button and then clicking withdraw on whatever exchange you're using. I'm not sure what exchange you're using, but that's how you would cash out. If you're not using exchange, maybe, well, actually you gotta use an exchange unless you're doing something where you're doing like a private deal with somebody, and you could possibly do that if you wanted to. You could actually go find someone that wants to buy Bitcoin directly off of you, and they give you cash, you know, or Venmo you money, whatever, and you just send the Bitcoin to their address, you know, using your phone or whatever. That's one way to cash out on Bitcoin and not use an exchange. They used to do that before there were exchanges. Edible Zombies. He says, you really appreciate my insight. Thank you, Edible Zombies, for that compliment. I appreciate that. The pivot point for the 15-minute. All right, you want to look at Bitcoin on the 15-minute? Let's look at Bitcoin on the 15-minute. And Bitcoin on the 15-minute looks like we got a bounce off the 200-day 200 moving average on the 15-minute. Looks like that's keeping us up, holding strong here. That was at $73,400. And that's exactly what we came down to, was $73,400, okay? And my indicator here, my DeluxeAlgo trade indicator here is telling me that, you know, now's the time to try to long Bitcoin if you're interested in doing that on the 15-minute chart. I mean, it does tell you when the short signal here, like you got a short signal here, and it tells you to short Bitcoin, and then it says long it right here, okay? But yeah, DeluxeAlgo was telling me last night to short Bitcoin, okay? And I would have loved, I mean, I wasn't on the charts, I was on the phone call. I thought Bitcoin was going to continue on to like maybe 77K. And while I was on the phone call last night, that's when Bitcoin decided to creep up to like 76K. And actually, you know, start. That was the high water mark last night. But I did say, you know, last night that I could see Bitcoin going up to higher prices. And then maybe when the Americans, right, start going to bed, which in this case is like around like 9:30 last night, I guess. That's when you know, less money goes into Bitcoin, and we could get a sell-off. And we did get a sell-off last night. So I kind of already seen what was going to happen, or I seen this happen a few times already. You know, where people go to bed, less American investors are putting money into the market, and the Americans got the most money to be putting into Bitcoin. They got the most discretionary income and cash to do so. And then when they wake up the next morning is when they start buying Bitcoin again, and I think that's what's going on right now. Oh, did I just move I moved my alert there? Damn it! I did not mean to do that. And of course, I just got the trigger. I just accidentally triggered my own alert here. Let me see if I can put that alert back in again. I wanted to, I was interested in trying to, long Bitcoin again if it gets down to like 73,700. Or at least I wanted to be looking at the charts again if it does go down to that level. So I just put that alert back in again. After accidentally triggering it. I clicked it and dragged it, and oh, my bad. Anyways, Kuador says, you need to pay to use DeluxeAlgo. Yes, you do. That's an indicator that that you pay it once, and then you get it on your charts. Okay. So if it seems like it's an indicator that you want to use and it has some value to you, you know, over here on TikTok, you know, you just click on my TikTok profile. You go over to my link tree. This is in my bio here. You click on that link tree, and it'll take you over to the Meet Damien link tree, and there is a the DeluxeAlgo indicator. This is my referral link here, so I appreciate if you guys use that referral link if you do decide to use DeluxeAlgo. And if you click on that, it will take you over to the DeluxeAlgo website. And yeah, right now, you know, for only $50, $49.99, you can get those DeluxeAlgo indicators showing up on your chart as well, with the long and short signals. And there's a few other things out there, like the money flow, and it gives you the buy and the sell signals here. They usually charge about $199 for that one-time fee, but you can get it for like $49.99 using that referral link that I got set up there on the Meet Damien link tree. Right, just click on that Meet Damien link tree, and you'll be good to go. Okay, and then you'll be able to get these long, short signals here. And then also the other DeluxeAlgo indicator here is the money flow indicator, where it shows you money flow, whether it's you know, in the green, in the negative, in the red here, and then you get these the buy dot, sell dot here. Okay, so you got that as well for one of the indicators to use here. And then also you got the divergence here. Okay, it shows you or spots out the divergences for you, where you got you know, advanced B divergence. B is not as good as A, and of course C is not as good as B or A. You're looking for like you know, better divergences here, but it gets like what the divergences there are and how strong they are, and you can see that we were getting some divergence here showing that there was bearish divergence, and of course that bearish divergence, it finally played out, and it gave you the short signal to enter that short on Bitcoin last night, and you could have made some money while Bitcoin was dropping down. And then of course you get the long signal, and when you see this long signal, if you're already in the short and you see a long signal come in, then maybe it's time to take profit on your short. Okay, now granted, you know, sometimes you'll get a signal that says, oh, it's time to short again, and maybe in this case what you could have done was you could have took partial profit on your short, right? And then when you see this short signal come back in again, you know that you can stay in your short here. However, this long signal is coming back in again, and now this is probably showing that if you were shorting last night, you should probably think about taking profit on your short here, because we're getting another long signal one more time here on the 15-minute time frame for Bitcoin. So this is pretty useful and helpful, especially for the beginner traders out there, but even the experienced traders, if you're not sure, you know, if now is the time to exit out of your short or maybe getting into a long here, you kind of have these signals here that kind of help you you know, gauge as to like whether you should get into a long or get out of your short. Okay, so right now, you know, with that long signal, I would say now's the time to long and maybe think about getting out of the short. And you can see that, you know, Bitcoin is climbing. It is you know, trying to climb up to 74,200. Let's see, about a few minutes ago, around 11 a.m. we saw it at like 74,900. So I think, you know, Bitcoin does want to climb up. But I also use other indicators besides those paid DeluxeAlgo indicators here. I also use the momentum indicator, and let's see what I'm not the momentum, the MACD indicator here, which is another momentum indicator. And you can see on the MACD indicator here, which is free to use. You don't have to use the DeluxeAlgo indicator, right? The MACD indicator should come with your TradingView subscription if you're using TradingView. I don't think you even need to be subscribed to TradingView to have the MACD indicator, but here the MACD indicator is showing that you had a crossover to the upside here on the 15-minute time frame, and buying pressure is starting to show up here. And I think Bitcoin does want to go up to high prices unless you see this blue line start curving down, and it starts curving down and crosses the orange line to the downside. I think you're good to see higher prices here on Bitcoin right now. Okay, at least on the 15-minute time frame. Let's take a look at what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, you can see that we had selling pressure. You know, the selling pressure came in last night, right? We had buying pressure dying down last night. Then we got the MACD crossover that happened 11 o'clock last night, or at least 11 o'clock East Coast time. I know you guys are all around the world and you have different time zones that you're in, but at least around 11 o'clock here in Boston, here in, you know, Massachusetts, we saw you know, Bitcoin you know, doing a MACD crossover to the downside on 1 hour time frame, and then you saw selling pressure start coming in. But now look, selling pressure is starting to die off. And if this selling pressure continues dying off, then this blue line, which is starting to curve up, it's going to cross the orange line to the upside, and we're going to see Bitcoin go up to higher prices again. Okay, kind of like we saw with this MACD crossover here on Sunday afternoon, where we saw the blue line cross the orange line to the upside, and then we got this green buying pressure and higher prices for Bitcoin. That could happen. All right. Now, it's not an end-all be-all indicator. We could get a fake out. We could get this blue line coming up, and then we get rejected off the orange line, come back down, and then we see selling pressure start increasing again. That can happen too. Let me see if I can see on the chart here where that kind of happened here. But like something like this, where you see selling pressure start dying down. You're like, oh, we're gonna get a MACD crossover to the upside, and then nope. Then the selling pressure starts increasing again. So you gotta be on the lookout for that. Okay. But if we keep doing this trend to the upside, where selling pressure is dying down, and then we start seeing green candles showing up on the 1 hour time frame, then you know, like, you know, you're gonna probably see high prices for Bitcoin. And look at this, I'm literally talking about higher prices for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is slowly creeping up as we're looking at the charts right now. Kuador says, after you pay, how can you get connected? So after you pay for the DeluxeAlgo indicator here, it will show up in your indicators here on TradingView. So you go over to your indicators here, right? I think it should be, is it under purchase? No, it should be under my scripts. The invite only, yeah, the invite only tab here. And you'll have the DeluxeAlgo trade indicator here, and then you have DeluxeAlgo with the money flow divergence. So that's what it will show up once you purchase that DeluxeAlgo trade indicator there. Okay. I think it's worth giving it a shot, especially if you're having a hard time figuring out when to long or short. That kind of helps here, you know, looking at these long signals and short signals, especially if you're day trading and you're going in the smaller time frames, like the 15-minute time frame. You're trying to figure out when to long, when to short. Kind of gives you guidance, right? It gives you a little bit of guidance here as to like when you should long and when you should short. And then also you got your divergence here. It kind of marks out your divergences here, showing you that, you know, you're making higher highs here on the price. Whatever I bet you on the RSI, you're making lower highs here on the RSI. So let me just see if I can pull that up here real quick here. But you were making, you know, a high here at 74 on the RSI, and then you're making a lower high here, so that you got your divergences showing up here. And then this was a lower high here compared to what we had back here on Monday. So this thing kind of spots out the divergences for you. And when you see this red or this magenta, this is showing you that there's bearish divergence out there, and that at any point we could drop down. Okay. Especially when we hit these highs here, you know, when we hit these the double tops, or even like you know, in this case we made a higher high here. So like that was showing you divergence, and then it gave you the short signal, and then boom, that's it. Time to short. Time to get into a short. Time to take profit on longs and enter a short maybe. So I think that's a useful indicator right there. Edible Zombies wants me to check out SWMRI. Alright, I can go ahead and try to do that for you. And Gonzalo Badilla says, how do I get those indicators? Kuadoj says, yeah, so alright, so Kuadoj, to get those indicators, you have to go on to the DeluxeAlgo website, but you gotta, all right, first you gotta start here with TikTok, right? You go over to Linktree, okay? My right on my bio here, right? The Meet Damien homepage here on TikTok. You click on that Linktree right there, okay? That link, it will take you over to the Meet Damien Linktree, right? There I am, okay? And then up top here, you want to see the DeluxeAlgo. You click on that, and it will take you over to the DeluxeAlgo website where you can get started, right? You get your access right there. You got to click on that blue button right there to get access. And I think it's going to ask you to pay, I think through the Apple. It's like an Apple app. But you click on that. Let's see, how long is this going to take to like actually hit? But this is how you would get started if you want to get those indicators there. I don't know if it's actually going to go through because I already have the indicators here, so it's probably, you know, a little bit confused here. Like, hey, why are you trying to buy this again? But yeah, this is where you need to go. All right, to try to give you the idea like how to get into those indicators there. Okay. All right. Kuadorj, if you have any more questions about this, you could just message me here if you have any trouble there. But I showed you where to get started. You go over to the Meet Damien you know, TikTok page, go over to the link tree, and then click on that link, and that's how you get started with DeluxeAlgo. Okay, and if you're running any problems, just message me. You can message me here on TikTok, and I will try to help you out. with that. Okay. Because it is a referral link, I do get a little bit of commission there. So this is one way to support me here on the Meet Gaming channel. If you actually do click on that referral link, I do get a commission bonus off of that. So appreciate that if you do. If you decide that that's for you and that's what you want to do, then yeah, that definitely does help me out in the Meet Gaming channel here. All right, we gotta look at the request here. We got a request from Edible Zombies. Edible Zombies wants to look at SWMR with an exclamation point. Swarmer Incorporated, SWMR. Is that the one that we're looking for, Edible Zombies? Let me know if you're if that's the one that you want to look at. What is this? They're saying there's no data for this. It says it's on the NASDAQ, but I'm not getting any information off of it right now. Is this thing still trading on the NASDAQ? Let's see. Let me see if I get any information about this company. What is the there's no market cap, or like what is this? I don't know. I'm gonna go back to Bitcoin. Edible Zombies. I tried typing in the ticker symbol there, and I wasn't able to find it. Let me try it again. SWMR. Swarmer Incorporated. Is that the name of the company? I know there's like a 10-second delay. I'm waiting for your response. Well, when I click on it, it looks like it trades on the NASDAQ exchange here. But when I click on it, I get no information about it. Yeah, I don't know how to analyze your stock there if it's not giving me any information about it right here. Is this a brand spanking new company? Has it even started trading yet? Yeah, I got no data here for this ticker symbol that you gave me here. I'm gonna go back to Bitcoin again. You have another request besides SWMR? Todd says he's in a long on Chainlink. Okay. And then Nicole Harbor says, how accurate is the signals with those signals that we're getting here? I remember, Nicole, you said you were interested in signals here, and I didn't have an indicator to use at the time until recently. When I was approached by DeluxeAlgo to start using these indicators here. And how accurate are the signals? Well, here on the daily time frame, right? The signals, they're still useful, I believe, on the long time frames, but I feel like on the smaller time frames they're even more helpful, especially for the day traders. You can see that the last signal here we got was to long Bitcoin on March 10th. So far, that's a pretty good idea to do, right? And we're not getting a short signal yet. Even though we're kind of getting a little bit of a red day today, there is no short signal yet. So that so far seems to be true and correct, right? You got a short signal, looks like it said here on Saturday, March 7th. However, that got canceled out when the long signal here on March 10th. So, one indicator is not the end all be all, but this is showing you that, yeah, you could have short Bitcoin. However, the long, it was giving you the long signal, like, all right, it's actually time to long Bitcoin now, and that canceled out the short. So this signal here got canceled out. I'm sorry, the short signal got canceled out when it came time to see the long signal show up here. Okay, and that's on the daily time frame. Now, if I go into like the 15-minute chart for like the day traders here, let's see how useful these indicators are. So you just got a long signal just now. Looks like it came in at 10:45 a.m. Eastern time here to long Bitcoin. And right now you do not have a short signal yet. Okay, there's no short signal yet. So you could stay in the long here until you see that short signal show up. Let's just go back to last night, because we got a little bit more information to work with here. So last night was like around this time, when I was interested in staying long on Bitcoin, I was saying that, you know, last night I could see Bitcoin going up to higher prices, and then also this thing was saying that, yeah, you should be long in Bitcoin right now at like 5 p.m. Eastern time last night. And you could have stayed long, and then this thing fired off the short signal here at 11:15 p.m. Eastern time last night. So, you know, had you listened to this, you would have longed here. You would have stayed in the long. Yeah, you wouldn't have caught the exact top. But I mean, nobody actually catches the exact top, you know, like it's very tough to do. Okay. And then it told you like, hey, you got a short signal here at 11 o'clock. Time to get out of your long. If you were in your long, you would have got out of your long right over here. And then, you know, maybe you could have flipped it and reversed it into a short, and then you would have been shorting from 11 p.m. last night all the way down until this long signal came in at 3:30 a.m. Eastern time. Now, I don't know if you're trading late night hours, all right, but like somebody that's like trading on the other side of the world, that's like, you know, for somebody in like Australia or Taiwan, and I do got people on, you know, this is a worldwide audience, people on the other side of the world here. You know, they would have been shorting Bitcoin at 11 o'clock in the morning for them, and then they would have been, you know, exiting out of that short at 3:30 in the afternoon for them. Okay, so this I think is useful for a lot of new traders out there, beginner traders who are just getting started with their trading journey, and they're still trying to figure out, you know, how to use all these indicators here. This kind of gives you like a cheat sheet. It's like a cheat signal. We're going to tell you when to long and short. Now, you know, you guys don't have to purchase the indicator there. You can just come onto my channel and watch it for free, and have me analyze, you know, your coins and your stocks, your cryptocurrencies, your stocks. I can look at it with you on the charts here, but then when you're on your own time and you're using TradingView, you're not going to have this long and short signal here. So if you want that long and short signal for your own time, you know, you need to get started with using DeluxeAlgo. And I told you the link is right there on the Meet Damien link tree, right? And then it takes you over to you know, DeluxeAlgo, and there it is. You know, that's how you get started. So I was wondering like when this thing was going to show up, and it's like only $50 to get started with that. You put your credit card information in there, you put your billing address, and then you put your you know, just sign up. You sign up right there. I already signed up for this. I don't need to sign up again. But yeah, that's this. I think this is a good deal. It's a one-time fee for only $49. They usually charge about $199. So there you go. You're getting a better deal by being on the Meet Damien community. All right. Let's see. Edible Zombies, do you have another request? You want me to take a look at oil for you? Okay. And then Kuador says, is that for swing trading or day trading? I think it's useful for both day traders and swing traders, because, you know, for the day traders, they're going to be doing like the 15-minute time frame, or maybe the 1 hour time frame is where day traders like to play around at. And then you still get the signals here. And then for the 4 hour time frame, the longer time frame, still get those signals here. So like the date for the swing traders that like to do swing trading on 4 hour time frame. And then also on the daily time frame, you can also get the long short signals here too on the daily time frame. So there you go. And then of course you got the other indicator here, the money flow indicator here. And this kind of helps you out too with finding out, you know, when to buy or long Bitcoin with that green dot right there, and when to sell short with that red dot right there. Okay. So, you know, this is another indicator here. And then of course you could come onto the live stream and watch me use these indicators here and learn how to use these indicators and ask me questions about the indicators here. I don't mind teaching. And then of course, when I'm not live streaming, you guys can actually go onto the Meet Damien Discord for my TikTok guys. You know, you guys go over here to the Meet Damien link tree. You click on that, and then you go over here to Meet Damien server, which is free to join. The Discord server is free to join, and you'll be able to see me here on Discord. Looks like we got a new person here. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for showing up to the Discord. And then you'll also be able to see when I go live. We say good morning to each other. Good morning to JR. Okay, and then we've been talking about, you know, oil and commodities and stocks and what's going on in the news here. Looking at the charts here. All that good stuff. For my my YouTube guys, I'm having a hard time showing that link. The Discord link here has not been working, so I'm not able to show that to you on the screen here. But I am showing this to my TikTok guys right now, the Meet Damien on Discord. So let me see. But maybe one day I'll be able to get that Discord link to start working again here. But let's go back to the charts here. Let's go back to the charts. You want me to take a look at Chainlink? Okay, I got you, Todd. Let's take a look at Chainlink. Link USD. Yep, there we go. So we're looking at Chainlink currently trading at $9.80 here. Down slightly today, down 1%. It looks like we're finally getting a red day here, guys. Like a lot of these cryptocurrencies, they've been on a tear. They've been on a rally. And we had like eight green days here in the green. And now we're finally getting one red day here. But you can't get too mad about that. As long as we continue making higher lows, I think we'll be all right here for Chainlink. Now, I did mention in my previous live stream, I think we had someone request Chainlink yesterday. I did mention that we could continue climbing up and bump our head up against this 50-day moving average at $11. I think that's your target to the upside for Chainlink, this 50-day moving average right here. Okay. It's the same thing for Bitcoin and Ethereum. We got all the moving averages above us that could act as resistance. I think Chainlink's resistance is going to be $11. And if we get past $11 and we're able to go further, then maybe we hit the 100-day moving average at $12.38. This blue line is your 100-day moving average at $12.38. Maybe you could take some more profit there, but have we actually got above the 50-day to go to the 100-day? And we haven't. We really haven't done that. You're really asking for a lot there, okay? Ever since we lost the moving average here back here in October, we haven't really come up to the 50-day moving average. We kind of almost did here back here in January, where we kind of came close to climbing up to that 50-day moving average. And then, of course, we didn't. And then we lost it, along with Bitcoin dropping down to like 60K in February here. And now you can see that Chainlink is actually trying to make a climb back up to higher prices here. But I think if we get to that 50-day moving average, you should strongly consider clicking the sell button. I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing a short signal here on the daily time frame when we get up to that 50-day moving average. Okay. But maybe we actually do climb past the 50-day moving average when we get up to the 100-day moving average. So I think $11 is your first target, and then I think $12.38 is your next target to the upside. And we'll just have to see, if we're gonna get a short signal here. If you see a short signal here, and we're at that 100-day moving average, for damn sure you should be selling at $12.38. Not financial advice, but that's how I would read the chart, and then I would execute it by actually, taking profit on my longs here. Let's see. Kudor says maybe they're gonna dump the whales for profit. Keta Swan, thank you for following me here on TikTok. Alright, you want me to just go over the moving averages here? So the moving averages that I use the 200-day moving average. It's just a simple moving average, right? The 200-day simple moving average is this red line. The 100-day simple moving average is this blue line here. The 50-day moving average is this green line here. And then this white line is the 21 exponential moving average. That's the only EMA that I actually use on my charts here, okay? And it gives me really good guidance, using those moving averages here. I know we're bearish here on Chainlink because you're below all the moving averages except for the 21 EMA. You just got above it. But I'll tell you this, back in February, we were below all the moving averages, and Chainlink was looking very, very bearish. Very, very bearish. But we have slowly climbed up, at least got above the 21 EMA for now. And the next order of business is to get above the 50-day moving average, which I think could be a struggle. It could be a struggle. Usually when the moving averages are showing that we're in a bull market, you'll see that the price will be above all the moving averages here. Like back in January of 2025, the 200-day moving average was below us, the 100-day was below us, the 50-day was below us, and the 21 EMA was below us, and we were in a bull market here on Chainlink when we were above all these moving averages here. Now you're in a bear market, right? You're in a bear market, and now all the moving averages are above you. And those moving averages are now going to act as resistance, okay? Since they're above you, these are areas where you want to think about taking profit, until we actually get above them and stay above them, right? In this case, we're above the 21 EMA, so if we do pull back on Chainlink, I would expect the 21 EMA to act as support because you're above it right now. And that's sitting at $9.06. So $9.06 is where I would be interested in trying to buy some more Chainlink if that's what you're inclined to do so. So, buying Chainlink, yeah, okay, $9.83, not so bad, but even better deal would be buying it at that 21 EMA at $9.06. Edible Zombie says, that's so weird. I'm looking at SWMR on Robinhood right now. I mean, I could try to look at it one more time and see if it shows up, but it wasn't showing up on my chart here. And you said it's a stock. Maybe if I click on stocks, maybe it'll just give me just the actual ticker symbol. And yeah, that's weird. It's just, there might be something going on between TradingView is not getting the data off the NASDAQ exchange right now. So it's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad day today, but I'm not able to look at it. We'll have to look at it again maybe tomorrow, Edible Zombie. Just maybe put a request in for SWMR and see if it works tomorrow. All right. Neymar says thoughts on Brett, and then Todd wants to look at Filecoin. So let's look at Filecoin because that came in first, and then we'll look at Brett. So we're looking at Filecoin currently trading at 96 cents. And look at Filecoin. Filecoin is actually coming up against these moving averages. Filecoin already hit that 50-day moving average, this green line here, and it kind of acted as resistance initially until it decided to just push past the 50-day moving average. And now look, the 100-day moving average is acting as resistance for Filecoin. The 100-day moving average is sitting right now at 98 cents. If we push past 98 cents, then I think, guess what? The 200-day moving average is probably going to act as resistance, and that's at $1.09 for Filecoin. So I think you can use these moving averages as a way to give you guidance as to where to take profit on your investment here in Filecoin. Okay. Now these moving averages, they will act as support when they're below you. So right now, I think the 50-day moving average should act as support at 95 cents. Don't lose 95 cents, because if you do, then maybe we come down to the 21 EMA, and that 21 EMA is sitting at 90 cents. And that should be another, good area to try to buy Filecoin if that's what you want to do here. Okay, and if we do that, it would be a higher low than what we were doing back here in, the middle of March here. We saw a Filecoin as low as what, 85 cents? So maybe you could try to buy it at 90 cents at the 21 EMA if we do come down to that price there. Just an idea, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's how I would try to play the charts based on, just using the moving averages here. Now, does Filecoin have the momentum to go up to higher prices? Let's look at the MACD indicator here. MACD is showing that there is buying pressure here. It's been buying pressure since March 14th, about a few days ago. And you got the blue line above the orange line. So that's good to see. I think Filecoin does want to go up to higher prices. Now look, the buying pressure is starting to die down here on the 8-hour time frame. If it continues doing that, I mean, you can still go to higher prices, but I would expect maybe a consolidation if it does. If this buying pressure starts dying down. If the buying pressure starts increasing again, then we could probably go up to higher prices for sure. But this is a little bit of a warning signal to try to take profit. right? And it makes sense because you're at the 100 moving average right now. And I notice I'm on the 8-hour time frame. Let me get into the daily time frame, see what that looks like. So on the daily time frame, yeah, 50 moving average is at $1.18. So I think that's the next target up to the upside here. $1.18 for sure. Might be where we get rejected on Filecoin. Okay. But yeah, Filecoin does every now and then. It does get up to that 50-day moving average, and you get a spike right above it. Right, you get a spike like we had here in January 15th, where we got up above the 50-day moving average and above the 100-day moving average, but we didn't stay above it. It's kind of like almost like a fluke. And then look at this, right? You got the signals here, the DeluxeAlgo signal saying short, short, short Filecoin, take profit, enter a short. And had you done that, look at it didn't tighten along it until you got down here on February 14th. Then it was like, all right, now you can try to buy back in again on Filecoin if that's what you want to do. Okay. And interestingly enough, on the daily time frame, this says we long here, we short here, but we don't even have a long signal yet. I bet you if we start climbing up to $1.18, a long signal will fire up. But if you want to front run it, if you think we're done going down right now, you could buy a Filecoin right now in anticipation of taking profit at that 50-day moving average, or even the 100-day moving average at $1.37. Steven says, when will Bitcoin go up today? Let's see, what is Bitcoin doing? It's at 74,100. I think it's a nice slow crawl up to higher prices here for Bitcoin. Let's see. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Anything going on here with the 1 hour time frame that I need to pay attention to? How's that MACD indicator here? We see that selling pressure is dying down here on Bitcoin. So it's just, we gotta see the selling pressure continue to die down, and then see this blue line cross the orange line to the upside, and you'll see Bitcoin climb up this year. There's no guarantee that it's gonna do that, because see that the selling pressure starts increasing again on the 1 hour time frame. And if it does that, then it's time to get out of Bitcoin. Time to get out of the long, maybe, you know, maybe enter a short, maybe. But yeah, let's see. On the 1 hour time frame, we actually had a short signal here at 2 a.m. and you haven't had a long signal yet. But sometimes you don't have to wait for the long signal. The long signal is just confirmation that you should be along in Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame here. Let's see what it looks like on a 50-minute time frame. 50-minute time frame? 50-minute you got the long signal. It told you long Bitcoin 10:45 a.m. Eastern time here. Alright, so it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. If anything, it'll probably be later on tonight. Maybe you might see higher prices for Bitcoin. Todd said, thanks man, already took profit, holding half. You're welcome, Todd. Appreciate that. Looks like we got a hater here. He says, if the indicator worked, you would not share it and you would be a millionaire. Well, it's not my indicator. It's another person's indicator here. And the indicator does help with trading decisions as to whether or not, you know, when you're having a hard time figuring out if you're going to long or short, it definitely helps, you know, seeing confirmation here that on the 15-minute time frame, it's telling you the long. Okay. But I think it's useful. I think it's a useful indicator here. And I know there's other trades out there that could use something like this, so why not share it? But yeah, it's not my indicator, so I'm not, you know. It's an indicator by DeluxeAlgo that I felt that it's useful and helpful, and I want to share it with people who actually need the help with it. Well, yeah, it just says short and long, so it's just telling you that, you know, when you see this long and short stuff, if you were, all right, so the time the short was last night, obviously, okay? And then it told you to long here, this, you know, early in this morning. And what this means is that you should exit out of your short It doesn't mean immediately go into a long. I mean, if you want to go into a long, you could go into a long, but look, you could have went into a long last night or early this morning, and then it would have told you to get out of the long like a couple hours later, okay? And it says enter that short or stay in the short. So it's all about how you read and interpret the signals here. How I would have done this if I was shorting last night, right? I would have short, and then I would have took partial profit on my short when I got that first long signal there, okay? I would have still held on to the, you know, some of my short, you know, seeing if I could get down to lower prices here, but this was showing you that you could stay in the short here, okay? So how I would read this is, all right, you short here last night, and then you take partial profit on the short because you don't know if it's going to go down further or if you're going to, you know, see the price go back up again. Okay, and then it told you you could stay in the short and continue on, you know, shorting it. And now you're getting another signal here at the long. Okay, so if you shorted last night, right? And I'm not sure. Let's say you had $100 of margin, right? And you shorted and you took partial profits and you still had like $50 of margin left in your short. And then, you know, you see that the price is going to go down further, and then you see that we got a long here. This is probably telling you, like, all right, you literally had two signals here telling you to long. It might be time to take profit, full profit on your short, okay? So in this case, I would probably take full profit on the short and maybe entertain the idea of getting into a long, okay? And now that we're in a long, okay, if we're in a long here at 73,700, if I see a short signal come up here at 74,500, I'm not gonna just take full profit on the long. I'll probably take partial profit. Maybe we make a higher low, and then it tells you to long again, and then I can see this thing go up to like 75 or 76K, and then I see another short signal, and then that's when I would try to take more profit on the long. Okay, this is not like one of those things where where you short and then, oh my god, I need to flip 100% into a long now. You can take partial profits on the short and then maybe re-enter the short again, or you could just stay in the short when you see the short signal here, and then you see that long signal, and then this is saying, all right, probably you should take full profit on your long, because now we're getting basically two long signals next to each other. It might be time to long, not short. Util Argacole says, what's the name of the indicator? It's the DeluxeAlgo indicator here. You see that here on the left, DeluxeAlgo. On my indicators here, it's the invite only, and it's DeluxeAlgo trade. DeluxeAlgo trade with money flow and divergence, and you can get that by going on to my TikTok page here, the Meet Damien TikTok, and you click on that Linktree link on the bio. It'll take you over to the Linktree, and you see the referral link for DeluxeAlgos right there. You click on that, it'll take you over to DeluxeAlgo, and you can start using those indicators for only $50, a one-time fee. They usually charge about $199. You get it for $50. You're saving yourself 75% off on that DeluxeAlgo indicator here. You click on the get access there, and then you put your credit card information in, and the promo code. You need my referral link to get the 75% off. Okay, so if you don't use my referral link, then they're gonna charge you $200. But if you use my referral link, then you'll get 75% off. It'll be like $50. All right, and then that's how you get started with that DeluxeAlgo indicator. All right, let's see. Thank you, Mary, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Thank you, Sims for Hacks, for following me here on TikTok. And let's see, we got a guy here. He's asking me, what's my monthly return? Go check out my TikTok. I just had a banger of a trade here on oil. I was trading the price of oil the other day.
Let's get down to business.
I made about $1,100 there.
Let's get down to business.
I had 10 contracts in oil.
One more night,
I did this on Coinbase Exchange.
We've had a million
trade
nights
oil
just like this.
on Coinbase. But yeah, that's you know, that's one of my trades right there. And then I think I did a P&L video not too long ago here. Here's a P&L video. Yeah. So there you go. Today's P&L 35%. Had a 30-day P&L up 96%. So yeah, there you go. You know, I know some of you are a more profitable trader, and not. You know, look at the videos there. With what capital can you make $1,000 daily? I think I used about like $600 of margin, and I was up like 200% on the oil trade. So that's how I was able to get up to like 1,200 bucks there of profit. So I think you would probably, to answer your question, you would have to have at least like $500, $600 of margin. Yeah. Kuador says, what is margin? So margin is how much money are you putting into the trade yourself. And then leverage allows you to basically multiply your money. So if you're using like 10x leverage and you're using $500 of margin, you can then buy $5,000 worth of whatever it is you're trying to buy. So in this case, if you're trying to buy Bitcoin, you know, $500 is, you know, a good chunk of change for most people. But if you use 10x leverage on Bitcoin, you could buy $5,000 worth of Bitcoin. And if you did like 100x leverage, you could buy, with $500, you could buy, what, 50 grand. You buy 50 grand worth of Bitcoin, which is almost like buying an entire Bitcoin in itself. So when we talk about margin, we're talking about like day trading and leverage trading. Okay. So I have day traders that my chat. They ask me about, you know, day trading questions and looking at the charts here. I am a day trader, and I'm also a swing trader and a long-term investor. I do it all. Hey, we got Nedrek in the chat. Good to see you, Nedrek. He says dollar bills. He loves my accent. He says dollar bills, y'all flying high. Strap in. We're about to experience some turbulence. Yeet yeet. Oh my God. Good to see you, bro. Edible Zombie was talking about Swarm. Swarm, he says, is an AI software company for drones. Ooh, interesting. They might have a future with the way things are going around the world these days. Military drone technology using AI. I think that's a winning formula for the future there. Kudor says, you are using 50x leverage with $900 of margin. Okay. Ajia Chogan says, where should you take profit? Take profit on what? What asset are you talking about? What asset are you talking about there? Bitcoin? Bitcoin. All right. So let's look at Bitcoin. We're currently looking at it right now. I mean, one idea is to take profit at the highs from last night. We saw Bitcoin at $76,000. I'm actually gonna get rid of the DeluxeAlgo indicator here real quick. So if you don't have the DeluxeAlgo indicator, this is what your chart looks like. No signals here, nothing to tell you. That's fine. I'm even gonna get rid of the moving averages here because I actually want to do Fibonacci and see what the Fibonacci extension might look like here. So measuring from swing low, from like 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday to a swing high here at 10 o'clock on Monday. Let's see what the Fibonacci is telling us here. So it looks like the Fibonacci is showing that Bitcoin already hit the 618 Fibonacci at 73,874K. So we already hit the golden pocket here on Bitcoin. if you immediately want to take some profit, you know, if you're anxious to take profit right now, there is a 786 that says that you can take profit at $74,700. We might go sideways there. Bitcoin already hit that. Not here. On the 50-minute time frame, we hit $74,900. That was right near that 786 retracement. I think we're probably going to climb up to the 786 retracement again here, and then maybe make our way up to 76K. And that, you know, I think 76K should be where most traders would take profit. That's where I want to take profit myself on the Bitcoin long that I entered earlier this morning. If you still wanted to stay in the trade past 76K, we got a 1272 that says 77,500 could be the next area where Bitcoin could butt its head up against some resistance here. That's just using the Fibonacci extension levels. And then there's another one here at the 1618 at 79,500, which is close to the 80K number, right? We've been saying that 80K could be an area where we could take some profit on Bitcoin. I don't know if you're day trading with leverage, or if you're swing trading with no leverage, or maybe you're swing trading with leverage. I have no idea. But, you know, zooming out to the daily time frame here, and if I turn on the moving averages again, we do got a 50-day moving average. This green line is sitting at 80,400. So I think that's where you want to take profit on Bitcoin if you haven't done so already. I would take profit there on those, on just the spot bags, as well as if you're doing any day trading. You know, that's an idea to take some profit there at 80K. And now that I got this Fibonacci drawn out, you can see that the 1618 is right near 80K. So I think 80K is what we're all looking at right now for taking profit for Bitcoin. Gia says you are a day trader. Okay, well I just gave you to look for on the smaller time frames and the larger time frames. 80K, if you're able to wait that long. But if you're not able to wait that long, you know, if you're just want to take some profit later on today, I think, you know, we could see 76K later on tonight. I'm not a fortune teller, I'm not a psychic, but I think we could revisit 76K if we're going to continue being bullish here later on tonight. And then maybe 77K, 77,500 is your next target. Your 1272 Fibonacci extension target to the upside. What is in the chat? Good to see you. What? How you doing? What? And thank you, Smash, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. The net. I think I said yeet yeet perfectly. Oh, that's funny. Dollar bills, y'all. Yeet yeet. Yeet yeet. Oh man, alright. What do you say, bro? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP got a golden cross on the weekly chart on the MACD? Oh my god. Are you serious? On the weekly chart. Let's look at the weekly chart here. And you're talking about the MACD? So here we go on the MACD. On the weekly time frame, I do not see the MACD crossover yet. If we keep doing what we're doing, we will get a crossover, probably maybe next week or the week after that. Okay, so that's something special to pay attention to here. If that happens, you'll start seeing green buying pressure showing up. We haven't had green buying pressure since May and May of last year. That could be something to pay attention. Now here's the thing though. What? We could get a fake out. We could get selling pressure starting to increase again. And then this blue line doesn't even cross the orange line and it just comes back down. Look what happened here in January. In January, I think some people were probably paying attention to what you're saying is that we could get the MACD crossover to the upside, right? But we didn't. The blue line started curving up and then it started curving down again. The selling pressure was dying down and then the selling pressure started increasing again. So maybe we might get something like that. You gotta pay attention to that, okay? I think in the next week or two, later on this week, going into next week, is going to be very crucial for paying attention to Bitcoin, because either we're gonna get a MACD crossover to the upside, and we're gonna just see like 80K and then 90K and then maybe 100K in the next couple of weeks, couple of months. Or we could get, you know, disappointed again where we get up to like 80K and then we get rejected and we go back down to like 70, 60, and then 50K, and even lower than that maybe. Okay, so we're gonna be paying attention to that, right, on the weekly time frame here for Bitcoin. Let me see what things were looking like back here in 2022. In 2022, when we had the bear market in 2022 for Bitcoin, we saw selling pressure dying down here in March. Then we got a little bit of buying pressure here in April of 2022. And then it just wasn't good enough. And then the buying pressure died down, and then the selling pressure started coming in again. And then we went further into the bear market in like June and July of 2022. Okay? And then we had a MACD crossover to the upside in August of 2022, right? Just giving you guys some history here. And the buying pressure was there. But do you guys remember what happened in November of 2022? November of 2022 is when Bitcoin hit 15K. That was when FTX went bankrupt. Guess what? We still had buying pressure. Even though Bitcoin was making lower lows, we still had buying pressure on the weekly time frame, and we still had a MACD crossover a few months before that. But you know, what that shows me is that, you know, the price of Bitcoin, right? The price of Bitcoin can still go down even with a MACD crossover to the upside on the weekly time frame. Just want to show you that. See, like we had MACD crossover here in August, and yeah, I'm pretty sure people got excited and celebrated that. But then look, we still went down to low prices. Still went down to low prices. Still went down to low prices here, even though the buying pressure was there in November of 2022. And we already had a MACD crossover to the upside. You know, that's why, you know, these indicators, not one indicator is your end all be all. It kind of gives you guidance here, but yeah, I mean, you would have thought like, oh, we got momentum and we got buying pressure. Why are we still going down? Okay, why are we still going down? And it's because, you know, there was still some, you know, probably on the daily time frame and the smaller time frames, there was still selling pressure. The weekly time frame, it takes time for things to play out on the weekly time frame. But yeah, it was giving you a MACD crossover in August of 2022, and you did have buying pressure. It just wasn't strong enough to reverse the trend yet. And then, you know, in December we started, you know, climbing up to higher prices here. In December of 2022, in January of 2023, and that's where you know, you could have read that's like, all right, yeah, we're probably starting the beginning of a bull cycle here, a bull run here. Alright, let's go back to the chart here. You said that was showing up for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and it was also showing up for XRP. I'm going to just quickly look at the Ethereum real quick and the XRP. You said that showed up on Ethereum's MACD as well. Alright, so you're not really getting the crossover yet. You don't have the crossover yet on the weekly time frame. Maybe it might be on the 3-day or the 5-day. The 5-day is showing a crossover to the upside on Ethereum, and the 3-day already crossover to the upside. So, I mean, all this is telling me that we should see higher prices in the short to medium term here for cryptocurrencies. But I don't know if we're going to see higher prices in the long term. You guys see a lot more buying pressure showing up, and we don't have buying pressure showing up yet here on Ethereum, at least not on the weekly time frame. Let's look at XRP real quick here. XRP selling pressure is still here, and I can see, like, you know, this could be the beginning of something good here if we get a MACD crossover to the upside, but we don't have that yet on the weekly time frame. 5-day time frame, you do got it on the 5-day. You got a crossover to the upside, and then 3-day, yeah, you got a crossover to the upside as well on the 3-day time frame for XRP. But look at this, on the 5-day time frame, you get a crossover to the upside. You guys see follow through, because look what happened here back in January. We had a crossover to the upside, and there wasn't that much follow through. There wasn't that much buying pressure towards the end of January. And then look, then we got a crossover to the downside, and then selling pressure started showing up again. So you guys see follow through. You guys see some buying pressure. You guys see strong buying pressure like you saw back here in July of last year. We all know July of last year was a good time for XRP when the prices were going up to, I think, like $3, right? We saw $3 XRP last summer. So you need to get buying pressure to actually show up and stay strong. Because if you're gonna get this weak ass price action, this weak sauce here, then yes, you know, we're gonna probably see lower prices again one more time for XRP. So we'll be paying attention to that. Thank you for bringing that up, though. Bluebird says, what about Sol? We'll take a look at Sol. You want to see the same thing? MACD indicator for Sol. On the 5-day, it shows that we had a MACD cross with the upside. There's a little bit of buying pressure. We need more buying pressure here to see higher prices for Solana on the 5-day chart. Because here, you know, you saw some buying pressure here in January, and then it just wasn't good enough. And we got selling pressure all over again. So we could be seeing something special here later on this month, going in April. And you know, it leads me to believe, like, what's going to happen later on this month? Is the events in the Middle East going to actually, are things going to calm down in the Middle East, and maybe we can see cryptocurrencies go up to higher prices? Is there going to be like a ceasefire, or maybe Iran actually decides to surrender, and then we see higher prices for crypto? It makes me wonder. It makes me scratch my head. That's going to be the possibility here. But anyways, let me go back to Bitcoin. I'm going to give you my finishing thoughts here on Bitcoin, and then I'm going to end the live stream. We've been live for almost like 2 hours, I believe. And that's usually how long I plan on going on these live streams. You can find me going live from like 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. I started a little bit earlier today, just because I was ready to go around like 11:30, 11:40. But yeah, you guys can usually find me live streaming around these times. If you want to like show up and look at the charts with me again tomorrow, we'll be doing the same thing tomorrow, same time, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time normally. Thursday, I'll try to do an evening stream, so I'll probably go live at like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern time. So be on the lookout for that. And then Friday, I'm gonna be busy. I'm not gonna be able to do a Friday live stream. But yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin one more time here on the way out. I think Bitcoin, for my swing traders and long-term investors out there, I think we could butt our head up against this 50-day moving average at 80K, and that's where you should be interested in taking some profit on your spot bags on Bitcoin and crypto. Right now, we're getting our first red day after having 8 green days here. So maybe Bitcoin kind of chills out, but if Bitcoin's not going to have any chill, then I think we could retest 76K later on tonight, going into tomorrow. Going into the 1 hour time frame, let's see, the 1 hour time frame is where I get an idea as like what might happen in the next 12 to 24 hours here. And I like looking at the MACD indicator here. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. 1 hour time frame. Selling pressure is dying down right now on the MACD for Bitcoin. We can continue doing that, and we'll probably see higher prices here for Bitcoin, where we might see 75 or 76K later on tonight. So I think that's looking good here. Going into my money flow with the DeluxeAlgo indicator here. Let's get that fired up here. We did get a green buy dot here at 10 a.m. saying that you could try to long Bitcoin around that time. That's actually when I actually entered Bitcoin. I longed Bitcoin at $73,900, just a little bit below 74K. And I did that around, you know, this morning. And I think, you know, I could stay in that long until I see a red sell dot show here. We haven't had a red sell dot since 11 a.m. 11 p.m. Eastern time last night is when we got that red sell dot on the 1 hour time frame. So I think right now we're good to be, you know, long in Bitcoin. Also, money flows in the green. You see money flows in the green, and it's been in the green for a while now. Okay, so I think Bitcoin is just, you know, we had a buy to dip opportunity this morning, and I think you know, you could take advantage of that by buying the dip. We could probably be selling at higher prices later on tonight or tomorrow. Supersonic says, oh, sorry, he didn't say anything. He just followed me. Thank you, Supersonic, for following me here on TikTok. Yeah, I think we might go up for another swing up to higher prices here for Bitcoin. At least that's what the charts are showing me here. So I think we're due to see maybe, you know, 75 or 76K later on tonight here, guys. That's how I'm gonna finish up here for Bitcoin. I see higher prices for Bitcoin again, just like I saw high prices last night. You know, last night's live stream, I was like, I think Bitcoin wants to go up, not down, and of course that's what it did. And I think we can see that again here this afternoon, going into later on tonight. All right, so maybe I should add to my my Bitcoin long here. Let me go do that real quick. I'll do that with you guys right now. Over here on WEEX Exchange is one of the exchanges that I trade on. I'm only using $52 margin here. I'm thinking about doubling down. I got in at 73,900. Maybe I'll add a little bit more to the long here. Let's try to put another $50 margin in there. Okay. And I'm gonna try to target. Well, it depends. Do I want to take profit tomorrow? Because if I want to take profit tomorrow, then I think we should hit 76K. And with that, I'll be up about $61 on that. I basically doubled, you know, the margin that I put in there. And the stop loss, I'll put that at 70. Let me take a look at the 15-minute time frame one more time here. Let's see, I want to get under the candle wick low if I could, or below the 200 movement average. The 200 movement average is sitting at 73,600. So maybe I could try 73,600 for stop loss, see what that gives me. 73,600. I only lose $8. That's worth it. Yeah, that's definitely worth it. What if I put 73,400? I'll lose $14. You know, I'll try 600. $6. I mean, $8 on this this margin that I'm gonna put into Bitcoin. However, if we do go up to 76K, I'll make about $61. So I'll either be up 114% or I'll be down 15%. I think that's worth taking a shot at. So I'm gonna go ahead and add to that long there. Oh no, that's right. Okay, all right. So that makes sense. I did it as a limit order when I meant to do a market order. I was trying to buy now, so I gotta go do this again one more time. I'm sorry about that, guys. Let's try that again one more time. $50 a margin. Try to take profit at 76K. So I'm only gonna be able to make $50 if we go up to 70K. And at 73,600, all right, I'll lose $17. That sounds about right. Okay, yep. All right. Go ahead, enter that in, and add to the long. Boom, I just placed the order there. And if I scroll down, it should show that I have about $100 of margin now. So I just added it, and my entry price, my average entry price is at 74K right now. All right, cool beans. So there you go, guys. I am right there with you guys trying to long Bitcoin. We'll see if we get up to 76K. If we get to 76K, I'll be happy. If we go down lower or whatever, I'll lose a little bit of money on this leverage long here, but too much money. And we'll just have to revisit and see why the long didn't play out. But I think we're gonna go up, so I think I should be making money on this long. But we shall see. We shall see. Me myself, we're ending the live stream here, but if you want to continue talking and have me analyze it on the Meet Damien Discord, you can come join the Meet Damien Discord, which is free to join. All you gotta do is here on TikTok, you click on that link here in the bio. It'll take you over here to the Meet Damien link tree, and then the first link there, that Meet Damien server, Discord server, free to join. You click on that, and it will take you over to the Meet Damien Discord. where this is where you can talk to me when I'm not live streaming, and I can analyze that chart for you. Go ahead and just put in that request there in the Meet Damien Discord, or you can just wait till tomorrow afternoon. Well, you know, I go live between 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time, and that's when I'll look at it for you. But yeah, right now I got some things I need to do, and we're about to end the live stream, so there you go. If you're anxious for me to analyze it, just come on to the Discord and I'll analyze it for you. All right, let's go back to the charts, and we'll listen to some music on the way out. And yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Bitcoin is still climbing up to higher prices here, as the charts were telling me. The charts were telling me that it should go up to higher prices. So there you go. I think we're going to see 76K all over again. Maybe 75K later on tonight. Okay, maybe later on in the next hour we can see 75K. We're only like $500 away from that. But yeah, guys, good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into. I will see you guys same time tomorrow. Take care.